Welcome back, everybody. My name's Nolan. This is Tech Dad Over 55. Today, I want to talk to you about prompting AI models. I've put out several videos on my channel about how to use various AI tools, Grok, ChatGPT, Copilot, and I'll be doing others. But for most of us that haven't grown up with this is kind of a new thing. We know how to use search engines. AI is not a search engine. It can be, but it does so much more than that. And I want to be able to show you how to use it. Now, I use AI tools every day at work, and I promise you it's not as complicated as it may sound or may look. So if you've ever used ChatGPT, Grok, any of the tools that I've talked about on my channel and thought, why did it give me this answer, this thing that it came back with? Then this video is for you. By the end of the video, I want you to know exactly how to talk to AI so that it gives you helpful, clear answers every time. So with that, let's get started. So first things first, what is a prompt? A prompt is simply the words you type into AI. It's your question or your instructions. Think of it like this. Imagine you're at a restaurant and you tell the waiter, food. You might get anything, maybe sushi, maybe spaghetti. But if you say, I'd like a grilled chicken breast with steamed vegetables, mashed potatoes, please, that's exactly what you're going to get. AI is very much the same way. It's a smart helper, but it's also very, very literal. It needs very clear directions. So let me show you some quick examples. We'll walk through some best practices on how to talk to the engines. Okay, let me give you a quick example. I'm going to show you both search engines and AI returns. My daughter and I want to take a trip to Edinburgh, Scotland next year. I'm of Irish descent. That's something I can, probably do easily. So if I go into a search engine and say, hey, tell me about Edinburgh, it's going to give me some information, some tours, visiting a city, lots of stuff. Now, because I'm also signed in to Microsoft Edge as a browser, Copilot's also giving me an answer here. It's linking to Wikipedia. There's lots of useful information in here, but I have to dig through it myself. Now, if I just go over to ChatGPT and say, hey, tell me about Edinburgh, Scotland, again, it'll give me useful information. Give me interesting information, but it doesn't help me with my trip. So some of this I could get from a search engine, although you must admit this is giving me a better result than what the search engine would do, because search engine is going to send me to other places to read all that stuff. Here, it's just giving me straight up information. I told it to tell me about it. It's giving me lots of information, landmarks, look and feel, history, culture, food and drinks, weather, why people love it, all good information. However, I want to be a little bit more specific. So I'm going to give it a prompt. I have these copied off screen for speed, ease of use. I'm going to give it a prompt, though, that is more specific, right? This is an AI assistant, but that assistant is very, very literal. I'm a 56-year-old. I'm planning my first trip to Edinburgh in the spring. I love history and walking tours. Suggest some must-see places and why each is special. Now I'm asking it for something specific to what I'm doing. I've shown in the other AI tool overviews that I've done on my channel how to use the AI tools to schedule trips. I haven't done one overseas that I recall, but the methodology is the same. See either of those other videos to kind of walk through that process. But what I've done now is I've said, I'm going to be there. What should I do and why? So here's Edinburgh Castle, why it's special, why you'll love it, access and walking notes, the Royal Mile, Old Town walking area, the palace, some bonus trips or bonus tips for spring trips. This is actually useful information. So it's kind of night and day the difference you get between search engines and the AI, but even night and day difference between a very broad, vague prompt and something that's way more specific. And that really brings us up to our first thing that we need to cover, which are some of the things you shouldn't do with prompting. One of the first mistakes people make is they're too vague. So in this case, if I go to something, we'll kind of start over and say, give me a chicken recipe. And apparently I've put one in here before because it popped up. So anyway, it's giving me a chicken recipe. Fine, again, no big deal. But if I want to be a little bit more specific, I'm going to get a better answer. This is just picking one. In this case, I'm going to ask it, give me an easy chicken dinner recipe for 2 people using ingredients that I likely have at home ready in under 30 minutes. Now I've been way more specific. Super easy, under 30-minute chicken dinner for 2 using kind of the staples. And again, if we look back through these, I think you'll probably see there's some similarities. But in this case, previously I said, give me recipes, and it just made up something or, found something that is common out there. Now I've said, here's the parameters. Stuff I probably have already in my kitchen, and I want it ready in under 30 minutes with some easy sides. Awesome. Now I've got something that's very useful. The other problem is not giving AI a role, not a dinner role, ROLE role. What I want to do is be able to tell ChatGPT or Grok or Copilot, here's who you are. So let's do something that's a little bit more specific for us in the older crowd and say, hey, ChatGPT, you are a kind, patient doctor explaining to a 70-year-old what is high blood pressure and what simple lifestyle changes can help. This is something we all come across. My mother suffers from high blood pressure herself. This is a question I've asked AI on a number of occasions. So let's see what it gives us though. In this case, I've told it, you are a doctor. So it's telling me, of course, I'll explain this the same way I would in an exam room, calmly and plainly. And it walks through what is high blood pressure? What do the 2 numbers mean? Some simple lifestyle changes that really help. It's giving me examples of things that I need to make good choices and to understand what's being told to me. Now, I recently had to go to the doctor myself for a separate reason. I luckily don't have high blood pressure, but I did have to go to the doctor to check on something. And I don't know if my doctor is telling me all the right information or if there's more out there. I don't want to schedule that second or third checkup. It wasn't anything critical, so I wasn't super worried about it, but I wanted to kind of follow up. So what I did was I took everything the doctor told me, all the documentation he gave me about the answers to my question, and put them in here and said, hey, given this information, what is a common feedback? What is the common diagnosis? And ChatGPT will be the first to tell you, hey, I'm not a doctor, but these symptoms, these recommendations do follow this diagnosis. In this case, it was completely right. So if you give it a role and say, you are this thing, you are a world-class writer, you're a ghostwriter for some of the best autobiographies in the world, here's what I need you to do. It will assume that role. Another thing that kind of stops people is not continuing on after the first answer. So the magic in these tools is you keep talking. If the answer is too complicated, you can say, explain this to me like I'm brand new, which I do all the time. If it's too fancy, if the trip that I've asked it to plan is assuming that I'm going to stay at 5-star resorts everywhere, I can tell it, hey, tone this down, right? Make it more affordable. I'm not going for the highest end, I'm just going for fun. You can iterate on the things that you've asked to make sure that it's following the directions you want it to take. Okay, I just threw a lot at you. I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but there is some good news here. I'm going to give you a simple framework that you can really write down, use it every single time. You will get marvelous results from your AI interactions. It's the craft method. A lot of us get into some form of crafting once we get older. It's a great hobby, but this craft is crafting your prompts. And what those stand for, CRAFT. C is clear and specific. You want to be clear with what you're asking for. The R is for role. Give the AI a job. You're a doctor, you're a travel agent, you are a nutritionist. Whatever the job is you want, the person you would say, if I had that person right here to ask this question, who would that person be? That's the role you give them. You add context to it. More detail is better. You do not have to give short, abbreviated prompts. Sometimes that'll work. Usually you're going to get the best prompts out of longer prompts, or you'll get the best responses out of longer prompts. And then the format. How do I want you to answer? For instance, and I'll go into greater detail here in a moment when I'm showing you some demos, but if you prefer a bulleted list to paragraphs, it's something as simple as that. If you tell the AI, this is the output I'm expecting, this is the format I want my answer in, that really, really helps you get what you're after. And then the T is for talk back. Keep the conversation going. Ask more questions, iterate on the idea, ask AI how you can get better responses into it. Ask the AI to help you build a better prompt. Again, I know I've gone over that in a couple of my other videos, but we'll touch on it again here. So let's jump into a quick example, shall we? Let's start at the beginning with the letter C, clear and specific. You want to start off by giving very clear instructions as to what you want the AI to do. In this case, let's use genealogy. If I just wanted to look up my family's history, I could start doing that. I could do some search engine work. A lot of ways to get there, I guess, but all of them require a lot more work than I want to put into it initially. So in this case, I don't even know where to start. So I'm going to put in a prompt that is very clear and very specific. I want to start researching my family tree. Here's when my grandparents came over from Ireland. Where do I even begin? What are the best questions to start with? What information do you need? What do I do from here? Now I've got a very specific response to it. Gather what you already know. Get some free websites. There's a specific genealogy website just for us Irish folks. So there's a ton of information in here about what I can do right up front to get started. This is a much better focus than just simply saying, help me figure out my family tree. So be specific. The next one is role. And what we'll do here is we'll start a new one. I've talked about travel plans before in my AI videos. It's something you're going to use often. It's something I use often. I do love to travel. I try to get out at least a few times a year, see the world. So in this case, I'm going to give AI a role. I'm going to tell it, you are a friendly travel agent who specializes in relaxed trips for seniors. So help me plan out this 5-day trip to Washington, D.C. And by the way, I use a cane to walk, so take that into consideration when planning this out. Now, again, if I had done this on a search engine, the information I would have gotten, even if I had asked for something that has more mobility focus because I use a cane, again, I'm going to get kind of nebulous answers. They're not going to be very specific. But when I say, hey, you're a travel agent, you, ChatGPT, are this thing. Now give me this. So here we go. Sounds like a lovely choice. Washington, D.C. in April. It's one of my favorite trips to plan. Arrival, National Mall, cherry blossoms, Capitol, Arlington. Pretty cool, huh? It gives me great information. So by giving it a role, I have now told it or I'm asking it to tell me something that's more specific to that kind of expertise. That expertise can be anything. I used this just last week, double checking something that a mechanic told me about my car. I'm getting some front end noise in my little Honda Civic. And other than that, the car works fine. It's wonderful. It's Honda. You can't kill it. But this road noise was driving me nuts. So I took it in, showed it to them, and they said, "Oh, it's this $500 wheel bearing thing." And I'm like, "That I don't know anything about cars, so I don't know what to do with that." So I literally pulled up ChatGPT on my phone and I said, "Here's what I'm experiencing. Give me best recommendations. You are an expert mechanic specializing in these Honda Civics. Tell me what's going on here." And it came back that it was a wheel bearing. Heck, the mechanics may have used ChatGPT for all I know. But I was able to double check in real time, so I felt a lot better about coughing up $500 to replace a wheel bearing than I would have had I just trusted and moved on. Because I don't know what makes that road noise. It's not the tires. It's not, the car's not out of alignment. So I used this to double check it. Pretty cool. You can get kind of silly with it too. Maybe silly is the wrong word, but let's say you want to just write something fun. Here's one that I want to try out. I haven't done this yet, so we're going to see this in real time. So you're a humorous poet. Write a funny short poem about being new to the villages. Let's see what it gives us. Ultimately, I want to live in the villages in very short order. But let's see. I arrived in the villages, sun hat in hand, GPS confused, golf cart wasn't planned. The neighbors waved way too cheerfully at me. By Tuesday, they knew my dog name and tea times at 3. Not too shabby. I like it. So you can ask it anything. Hey, you're a nutritionist, you're a physical therapist, you're a golf pro, help me with my swing. You can do any of those. Now, that is the R, giving it a role. Then you want to go to A, add context. So in this case, let's go back to the medical version I was talking about. The context I'm going to give it is, hey, I'm feeling more tired than usual lately. I'm 56, I walk daily. I'm giving it information, like I'm not sleeping well. What are some changes that I can do? And by the way, I don't need medical advice. I will go to a doctor for that. And even if I do tell this thing it is a doctor, it will tell me it isn't. So it's pretty specific about that. That's built into the AI to say, hey, we are not doctors, but here's best path forward. Try to do it. It's still a good idea to use it though, because again, I've double checked diagnoses with my dentist, with my regular doctor, my neurologist, my endocrinologist. I double check them using AI tools. It's a great use of it, by the way. So improve sleep quality, adjust walking, light strength work, eat to stabilize energy. That I could probably do a better job of. Stress and mental load matter. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do to decrease stress other than exercise, eat right, and get more sleep, But anyway, it gives me great advice. I've added context to it saying, hey, not just, hey, I'm tired, what can I do? It's, here's my age, here's roughly what I do. How can I do better? Another thing I can do here is I can specify the format. The F is the formats part. So in this case, if I wanted to say, build a simple 7-day planner, if I just asked it to do that anyway, whoops, let me copy the right prompt in here. So give me a simple 7-day dinner plan for heart health, show it in a table with columns. If I just said, give me this planner, it just lists them out. But what I've told it is I want you to format the answer in a specific way. So now I've got something that is 7-day dinner planner. It's broken out into a table. So day of the week, main dish, vegetable, and prep time. And you'll notice the little symbol up here, that's a copy symbol. So I can copy that and paste it into a Word doc or an email or whatever I want to. Again, if you do like I do and use these tools on your phone, this is simply part of your conversation with ChatGPT. I can go to the store, pull this up, and have this table sitting in front of me. Then it gives me some other useful tips as well. All of it excellent information. Another one that I do, just because I don't like to always go to the gym, it's kind of a pain to get in there. Let's ask it to list 5 gentle chair exercises for better balance. Now, I'm a lifelong martial artist, been studying a very, very long time, but it also means I've been really abusive on my body. And in this case, this is something I've had to ask before when I'm adding context to, hey, my leg hurts, how do I fix this? Is to be able to come in here and say, here's the context, or in this case, formatting. Here's the format. What can I do? Number them 1 to 5, kind of walk through what they are. It's an excellent little breakout for doing this. And you can tell it whatever your limitations are. Bad knees, bad hips. My right arm doesn't work like it used to. I pulled a muscle in my left forearm a few weeks ago. It's still sore. I can give it that information and it'll feed me back with something that's still very, very useful. That also kind of leads us into the T, the talk back, meaning keeping the conversation going. What I want to do is, if my first prompt is, let's do a little demo here. Here's my first prompt. I'm going to plan a reunion for 12 people, and I want some ideas of where we could meet. And I'm asking it to suggest locations and what the pros and cons are. So it's immediately coming back with, okay, well, these are places you can rent for a set time. And it's giving me a bunch of the rec centers. The pros are it's really comfortable, often come with tables and chairs, good for mixed groups. Bonus here in Florida, especially depending on the time of year, is that it is indoors and air conditioned. But outdoors parks and picnic areas. So again, it gives some areas, pros and cons. Many get away to the beach or to a lake or some of the unique spots around. And then it's giving me directions and reviews and all the things that I want. If that's my first prompt, and then I say, well, okay, I like the idea of, let's see. I like the idea of using Sterling Heights. So what I'm going to do is I'm just copying the name in there. I like the idea of Sterling Heights. So what questions do I ask of the rental space and or of the villages to use it? So now I've said, I like this one. What else do I need to do? I'm continuing the conversation. So Sterling Heights Rec, solid pick for a 12-person family reunion because it gives you indoor comfort and outdoor flexibility. So here's the questions you should ask. Availability and eligibility, space details, outdoor use, food and drink rules, timing and access, weather backup plan, costs and rentals. As you see, with 2 quick prompts, I've got almost all the information I need to plan this little family reunion here at the Villages. Pretty amazing. Absolutely love it. So if you keep the conversations going, you'll get deeper and deeper. And every one of these, you'll notice I kept going back and clicking new chat when I changed conversations. If I did all of this in one long continuous conversation, it would mix up renting a place for a family reunion with a trip to DC and every other thing that I've mentioned today. So we just want to make sure that all of these are unique. Everything I'm talking about here is in this one thing. And by the way, if I open up my sidebar here, here's my chats. So I can go through and look up those things that I was asking about. So if I did want to go to my heart healthy dinner plan once I'm at the store to look up, hey, what was Tuesday's meal? I can come in here and do that. And I can continue the conversation here. I can say, great. I like this. Please give me a shopping list. Now it's going to give me a shopping list. And I've gone back to that conversation and continued the talk. So that's why you want to make sure that your conversations are laid out the way they are, so that as you go through them, if I want to come back and talk to ChatGPT about this thing again, that is optional. I do want to point out one quick thing on here, just as long as we're writing about it. If I go back and I start messaging again, you'll notice that this is my free ChatGPT license sign in. So it says you've hit the free plan limit for GPT-5. Responses will use another model until it resets at 4:42 p.m. It's just taking me from the fastest, most extreme model down to the next one lower. That's really all it is. If I was signed in using my paid subscription, that limit doesn't exist, but I also don't want you to worry about it if you see something like this. Now, it will give you the option, of course, to upgrade. And that's where I could take this one to the $20 a month version, or the I'm never going to buy this in a million years $200 a month version. But, if you eat, sleep, and breathe in this tool, this might be worth it. I have a paid version that I have, but this one is signed in under the free one. So just don't want you to worry about it if you see that. All it means is you're talking to a slightly different model, an older model. It's still going to give you great answers. It's still going to make total sense. So that is the entire craft technique. And again, if you have to do what I did initially, which is kind of jot it down, craft, clear and specific, give AI a role, add context, format, tell it how I want it to put out my response, and then talk back. Keep the conversation going. Just to follow on very quickly with what we just covered around the craft framework, there's some other examples that you can try out. Feel free and get creative with them. So you can ask it how to set up video calls, suggest some classic books for Kindle, write short reviews for restaurants if you are one of those folks that likes to go out to a restaurant and then leave reviews pro work on. Or just say, hey, I'm new to gardening, help me out here. You're an expert gardener, let me learn from you. Show me how to do this. Tell me how I can plant these things in this kind of ground. You can even take a picture of where you want to plant them and then ask the AI engine to give you suggestions about what to put there. Are you going for ground cover? Are you going for visual appeal? Are you going for, blocking your neighbor's irritating dogs? Whatever it is, you can ask it, but the craft framework really helps you out. So be clear and specific, give it a role, add context, specify the format, and talk back. And you don't need to remember all 5 every time, although if you're like me, you probably jotted this down by now and letting it rock. Although I will put that craft breakdown in the comments below. The idea is you don't have to know all 5 of them every time, or even use all 5 of them every time. Use one more each time. And if you use one more each time, that's how you get better and you'll get more comfortable at using it. And the best way is just dive in and start trying it. So whether it's ChatGPT, Grok, Copilot, Anthropic, Perplexity, any of the ones that you're using, grab that tool, ask it a simple question, and then add on to it. There's no wrong way. AI won't judge you, and you can always start over super easily. So start small, have fun. You've got this. And I hope this has been informational. I hope you've gotten something out of this. I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I am starting to try to get more and more of these videos out so that I can answer everyday questions for folks like myself who are in that older age bracket. You know, the Tech Dad over 55 moniker is something my kids came up with. I loved it. I'm going to go with it. But the goal is simply to be helpful. And I'm not dumping a ton of resources into fancy, fast clips and all that stuff. I just want to give you real information that you can use today. So if you do have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I'll respond to all of them. And I'll see you on the next one.